Hi friends, welcome back. It's Mry Contreras, and today we're going to be talking about something real: mature friendships. Friendship breakups can be just as painful as romantic breakups, possibly even more so, because some of these friendships we may have had for decades. But friendships don't always last forever. They're deeply emotional aspects of our lives, and especially with someone you've known for years. But just like all relationships, they may change over time. You may grow apart. The things that you once had in common, you may no longer have in common. And over time, if you're not careful, resentment can build. If one of you is going in one direction and one of you is going in another, and you just don't see eye to eye anymore, especially if your values have changed. So how do you know when it's time to let a friendship go? Friendships change, and that's okay. That's normal. People change. And so, of course, the relationships are going to change over time. And if you're flexible and you're respectful and loving, often you can keep these friendships for a very long time. But when you get to the point where your core values are no longer aligned, or you just don't enjoy each other's company anymore because you have too many differences. Maybe you no longer have the same hobbies. Maybe you bore each other to death. When you just don't enjoy the time you spend together, that's a good sign that friendship has run its course. Sometimes it's not even a fight or a falling out. You're just different people. And maybe you started out at a certain stage in life where you were both in that same stage, whether it was newly married or recently divorced or new moms. A lot of times those friendships align and bond over that commonality. And when your kids grow and they move away and you change jobs or you move cities or you get divorced or you get remarried, it often changes the dynamics of those friendships. If you have basic core values that change, that can be a deal breaker, if those things really matter to you. There are some things that I would say you want to ask yourself. Is the friendship still respectful, or is it filled with resentment? I think once the resentment creeps into any relationship, I think you're pretty much cooked. Once somebody is no longer respecting your individuality and they're starting to hurl insults at you or tell you things like you just don't have a sense of humor, or you can't take a joke, or how dare you be so offended at every little thing, you're too sensitive. They're minimizing and invalidating your feelings. If you can't openly and honestly and safely express your feelings with another person, that's a danger sign. When they really just don't want to hear it, they don't care how you feel about something, and it offends them when you have a reaction to something they've said. If somebody is insulting you and you have the gall to be offended by it, they probably just don't like you very much anymore. Because somebody who still likes you cares that they're hurting your feelings. But somebody that's done with you but doesn't have the balls to tell you will hurl it at you. They'll blame you. They'll be like, you're just too sensitive. You can't take a joke. You take everything too seriously. Things like that. Those are all red flag sentences. Does this person call you because they're bored, or do they actually enjoy your company? I have a friend who I'm pretty sure doesn't like me anymore, but she's lonely and she's bored and she suffers from depression. And I don't know how much of that plays in, because I don't have depression. I don't have depression or anxiety. I never have. And so I can't understand what that's like. But I do know what it's like being a friend with someone who has that, who is using that as an excuse to be mean to me. And I don't know that we're gonna vibe for much longer. I think we're about done. And I feel bad that she has mental health issues, but I don't. And I don't want to be insulted. And the friendship is losing its value to me because it's not fun for me anymore. It's not pleasant. I'm not safe to speak my honest reactions to her, because when I do, I get blamed or insulted. And so I don't reach out as much anymore. And I think that's okay. I think we've probably just run our course. And, you know, I don't want to have a big blow up fight with her. I don't need to have closure. I don't need to have a big talk. I just need to have fewer insults and probably fewer interactions. I don't hate her. I love her. I appreciate her. We've had many good years together. But the last year, 6 months to a year, haven't been fun. They haven't been enjoyable. And so I'm pursuing more me time. So, you know, you have to think about what brought you together in the first place. And does it still exist? Do you still have things in common? Do you still enjoy each other's company? You know, loyalty shouldn't be a life sentence. Healthy friendships do exist, but they respect boundaries and they're mindful of each other's feelings. And when the other person doesn't care about your feelings anymore, and they only care about what you can do for them and how you support them and how you're kind to them, but they feel like it's okay to be unkind to you, I don't think that's a good one. And I think it's okay to let those go. I don't believe in having big fights with people. And I don't really believe in closure because, you know, sometimes you just need some space. Maybe, you know, there's other, like, for example, my friend that suffers from depression and anxiety. You know, she's going through a lot right now, and I don't want to abandon her, but I don't want to be her punching bag either. And I don't like the excuses of all the reasons why it's okay to mistreat me. I'm not okay with it. So I think with mature friendships, it's okay to take space. I don't think there is anything such as closure. I think we just transition to new spaces and new relationships. And I do think there are ways to save a relationship, but chasing after it and trying to force it to be something that it's not is never good. So I'm going to back away and just let this thing have some air for the wounds to heal. And if I can't speak my mind, then really what's the point? And as I said, healthy friendships do exist. They feel safe. You can be yourself and not be insulted. You can have your feelings and not have them invalidated. Healthy friendships, they root for each other. They don't try to tear each other down. They're not telling you everything that's wrong with you, but reminding you what's right. If this touched you in any way, feel free to subscribe for more like this. I normally keep it pretty light and positive, but sometimes we gotta get real. You know, aging is not for the weak. I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.